Back in February, Brotherhood author Mike Chen said he made over 75 connections to other Star Wars stories, mostly books and other media outside of the films. Of course, I took that as a challenge, so here is everything I found while reading, which was a little over 60, so touche, Mr. Chen, touche. Spoilers for the book are ahead, so this is your warning. The opening crawl for the book mentions the Jedi Order having to rush the advancement of Padawans into knighthood so they could lead clone troopers. The rushed aspect made me think of knights like Nadar Veb from the Clone Wars, who were clearly not ready for the responsibility. One of the main characters, a Nemoidian named Roog, is a member of the Nemoidian Defense Legion, which first appeared in an in-universe HoloNet news article written by Pablo Hidalgo in Star Wars Insider issue 71. Roog gets the honor of delivering the obligatory "I have a bad feeling about this" line for the book. The capital city of Cato Nemoidia is identified as Zara. That was first established in a Star Wars tabletop adventure back in 2007. Pak is also said to be the language of the Nemoidian people. It first appeared in Legends material, but was brought into canon thanks to the in-universe reference guide Star Wars Propaganda, a history of persuasive art in the galaxy. We learn a lot about Nemoidian culture and why the galaxy views them as cowardly, which are words directly from Qui-Gon in The Phantom Menace, and why those generalized views are incorrect and should be challenged. Nemoidian children are stated to exist in a grub form, which first came up in the Legends book Darth Maul Shadowhunter. Roog suggests someone drink an agaric ale, an alcoholic drink enjoyed by Nemoidians that first appeared in the same book. Several references are made to the Sun Dragon myth of Tatooine that was first created for Matthew Stover's excellent novelization of Revenge of the Sith. Shortly after being knighted, Anakin attends a ceremony in the Jedi Temple courtyard near the Great Tree, as seen in the Clone Wars. Also in attendance is Olana Chion, a character first created for the Legends Jedi Apprentice book, The Fight for Truth, but who was also retconned into appearing in Revenge of the Sith. Siri Tachi is also there, another creation of the Jedi Apprentice series, this time the Captive Temple. She was a love interest of Obi-Wan's when he was younger, and was mentioned in canon, and from a certain point of view, The Empire Strikes Back. We learn that Obi-Wan was one of several Jedi who cycled through the Jedi Council seat left vacant after the death of Coleman Trebor in Attack of the Clones. As he takes the seat, Obi-Wan recalls Qui-Gon's chance to join the Council, a chance he refused to instead keep training Obi-Wan as seen in the book Master and Apprentice. Obi-Wan and Qui-Gon's mission to Pyjal from that same book and their interactions with the Zerka Corporation are also brought up. Mace Windu mentions the inevitability of new knights training the next generation of Padawans. Anakin dislikes that idea, which lines up with his initial attitude towards Ahsoka in the Clone Wars. Anakin briefly thinks about Mace's renowned fighting technique. The Jedi Master was well known for his use of the seventh form of lightsaber combat, or Vapad, which he created. The forms are much more prominent in Legends content, but have popped up in canon as well. Anakin feels the presence of Qui-Gon Jinn, noting that it's not for the first time. The book Queen's Hope recently told us that Anakin heard Qui-Gon's calls in Attack of the Clones as he slaughtered the Tusken Raiders. Mariek Panaka makes an appearance alongside Padme. She was created for the book Queen's Shadow as the wife of Korsh Panaka from The Phantom Menace. She took the job as captain of Amidala's guard after her husband retired. There are several references to Obi-Wan's past with Satine and his brushes with temptation. Of course, that could also be referring to Siri Tachi, but he mostly thinks about Satine. Anakin briefly speaks with the Jedi Master Jaro Tapal and a red-haired youngling who isn't named, but is definitely Cal Kestis. Both characters are from Star Wars Jedi Fallen Order, and I definitely did not squeal when they popped up. Don't believe what anyone else tells you. Fighting is also mentioned on the planet Bracca, where the opening scenes of Fallen Order take place. There are several references to the beginning of Queen's Hope, which includes more details on Anakin and Padme's wedding and their brief vacation on Naboo, as well as a quick adventure to the planet Hebeker Minor. We see a bouncer droid that's described as looking a lot like a reconfigured HK assassin unit. Those droids were first created for Knights of the Old Republic, but a newer model was more recently seen in The Mandalorian. Obi-Wan spends some time in the Jedi Archives where he is helped by Jocasta Nu's assistant, Noxie Kell. That name is a Tuckerization of Kelly Knox, writer for StarWars.com, author of the upcoming book Be More Obi-Wan, and non-stop source of hilarious Star Wars puns on Twitter. Dexter Jetster shows up because he had better be in an Obi-Wan story taking place at this time, but we learn that he was once known as the biggest information broker in the core worlds. Obi-Wan mentions Dex's food being better than the Jedi Temple's. According to the Attack of the Clones visual dictionary, it was Obi-Wan's distaste of the temple food that first led him to find Dex's diner. We don't see Flo, the waitress droid, this time, but we do see Wanda, which, as far as I can tell, was a character created for Star Wars Detours. Obi-Wan and Dexter split some 6 layer cake, which was retconned into appearing in Attack of the Clones, and also recently popped up in LEGO Star Wars The Skywalker Saga. Kenobi thinks about how he met Jetster during a youthful misadventure in the unknown regions. Kirsten White, author of the upcoming young adult novel Padawan, has strongly suggested we might see their meeting in her book. Later, Obi-Wan recalls finding data chips hidden by a Jedi long ago on the planet Lenara, which is where the book Padawan will take place, so these are like pre-references to a future story, Priester eggs. Anakin makes a quick reference to the days of the High Republic. It's not much, but I still think it's neat to see those words and a Skywalker's thoughts. Padme and Anakin share some frozen Joral cream together, which is just ice cream, first mentioned in the book Lando's Luck. Sabe's mission to free slaves on Tatooine is mentioned, which can be seen in the books Queen's Shadow and Queen's Hope. There are a couple references to the Tartakovsky Clone Wars series. Ki-Adi-Mundi is mentioned having had a recent encounter with General Grievous. Mace Windu is also said to have stared down an overwhelming wave of super battle droids on Dantooine. Both events can be seen in the 2D Clone Wars series. In a conversation with Anakin, Palpatine mentions Windu's affinity for shatter points, or the ability to see major moments in history or weaknesses in an enemy through the Force. Mace was gifted in the ability according to the Legends book, Shatterpoint. Several younglings are seen excited to visit Ilum for their gathering, a trial seen in the Clone Wars. They also look forward to meeting Professor Huyang, the droid that helps younglings construct their first lightsabers on his ship, the Crucible. A Zabrak youngling named Mill feels a pounding in her two hearts, which is a fact about Zabrak anatomy from the Old Republic MMO. Obi-Wan is taken aback from some of Anakin's newfound wisdom when he says, "Conflict often comes from a failure to listen." I assume he got that from Padme, who says something very similar about the Clone Wars and Revenge of the Sith. Quinlan Vos is briefly seen acting friendly with Obi-Wan. The two were seen to be close in the Clone Wars and the novel Dark Disciple. Anakin is caught watching some pod races using the Jedi Network. He specifically mentions the Fire Mountain Rally, an event seen in the game Episode 1 Racer. Obi-Wan smuggles a comm link to Cato Nemoidia in a case made of a frick alloy. In Legends, that metal was used to create the Dark Troopers. Anakin is forced to speak with a group of younglings, and he brings up his good friend Representative Binks, whom all the children seem to know. One of the younglings is a Chal Hutton, a species first created for the book Leia, Princess of Alderaan. Another is a Ferrario, originally created for the Legends novel The Crystal Star. They all have training lightsabers like the one seen in Attack of the Clones. We see a G2 droid, which was a repair droid from Star Tours in 1987. The trans clone trooper's sister from Queen's Hope makes another appearance on a mission with Anakin. Despite taking protective measures, Anakin gets sand in his new mechanical hand on a desert planet and thinks to himself, "See, no one believes me, but it gets everywhere." In fact, he thinks back to some of his other lines in Attack of the Clones and laughs about how awkward he was being, but doesn't regret what he said. To travel to Cato Nemoidia, Anakin borrows a family's dynamic class freighter. It is described as ancient, which makes sense. That class of ship first appeared as the famous Ebon Hawk in Knights of the Old Republic. Evidence suggests that the attack on Cato Nemoidia used separatist blazer bombs. Until now, those explosives have only been seen in one episode of the Clone Wars, Liberty on Ryloth. The Festival of Stars on Coruscant is mentioned. That's only ever been mentioned in a magazine called Build the Millennium Falcon. Anakin recalls saving Obi-Wan from a Mogonite bounty hunter in the past. That species first appeared in Shadows of the Empire, and this is its first canon mention. Obi-Wan and Anakin are hunted by Eric had built remote droids, the same company that created Imperial Viper and several other kinds of probe droids. Asajj Ventress is a major part of the book, and with her comes her Genevex-class Fanblade starfighter, first seen in the Tartakovsky Clone Wars series and later the canon Clone Wars episode Night Sisters. At the end of the book, the Padawan Mill is assigned to help Rig Nema provide medical and spiritual healing. Nema was a Jedi doctor who first appeared in the Clone Wars episode Voices. Mill's first mission is to be to the planet Valo, which is where the Republic Fair takes place in the High Republic novel The Rising Storm. Obi-Wan and Anakin see their armor for the first time and are both hesitant to the idea at first. And finally, Obi-Wan Kenobi meets Commander Cody for the first time. That's everything I caught, only 60 things out of more than 75, and a lot of them were still back to just live action and not books and comics. I look forward to seeing Mike Chen talk more about writing this story. He is clearly having a lot of fun playing in this universe, and by the time this video is out, I will have had a chance to talk to him about it, so you can watch our interview right now. If you're interested in checking out Brotherhood for yourself, you can pick up the audiobook for free on Audible. Just click on the link in the description or visit www.audibletrial.com/Star Wars Explained. The audiobook is out right now, and the production value on all the Star Wars books is very high with sound effects and music. It's like listening to a movie. Signing up for an Audible trial will get you a credit for one free book, and you can use it on Brotherhood or just about any Star Wars book you can think of. Or get any book you want. The point is, you get a free book, and you'll be supporting the channel when you do. But that's it for today. If you haven't already, please like this video, subscribe to the channel, follow us on TikTok, Twitter, and Instagram, and consider checking out our Patreon page. As always, thanks for watching, and may the Force be with you.